Hmm. Still rolling, everything's still good. There. Oop. Okay. Are we still on? Hopefully we're still on. Wait for the thing to catch up. Okay. Alright, cool. Alright, so yeah, sorry about that, guys. That was weird. It apparently stopped the stream and I didn't even know about it until like 15 minutes in. Cuz I went to go post a thing on the live chat and it said, "Oh, this stream is over." And I'm looking at like the stream counter. The stream counter's still going. So yeah, that was fucking weird. That was a little strange. What's this about? Okay, I see. Interesting. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. If you're watching in the post stream, hey. So apparently the internet decided to do a thing and cut out without me even knowing about it until I tried to type in chat and it's like, "Hey, this stream ended." I'm like, "What?" And I'm looking at my stream counter, it's still going. It's still saying that we're streaming and I'm like, "What is going on?" So that was fun. Anyway, hey, welcome back to the part 2 of this stream. So yeah, fun. No sound check needed. There we are. So, on the last time of Dragon Ball Z, or just me editing this video, this is where we left off. Me going through and like making cuts and things. So we're about done with this video now, actually, which is good. So we'll get this one the last like minute or so, minute and a half. What is this? 41 seconds. Yeah, nice. I'm just about done with this video. Golly. But yeah.
Write a concise email update for stakeholders about Project X, 120 words, positive but realistic tone. Reports. Summarize this transcript
Okay, you can do it here.
into 3 insights and 2 recommended next steps. Marketing.
Okay, skip that to there.
Turn this blog intro into a LinkedIn post under 150 words with a hook question at the start. Sales.
Okay, so we'll hit it here.
Create a 3-email sequence to follow up with leads interested in product. Tone. Friendly but persuasive.
Jeez, why did it combine those? Split the caption. Whoop. Fuck. Huh? Oh, this shit again. I don't know why it always adds this little bitty ass block there. That's so strange. So strange. Anywho. So this. Hit it here. Here-ish. So this one.
persuasive. HR. Write a job
Okay.
posting for a role in clear, engaging language. Highlight culture and growth opportunities.
Okay. And I think what we'll do is switch over. Oh, right. Hold on. Let me change a few things here. That's fucking annoying. Okay, so I think we'll end the editing for this one here for now. The rest of this editing I have to do off stream because I have to do capture and things like that. So I can't stream and do video capture at the same time because my computer will fucking explode. And also I'm using OBS to stream, so I can't do that, right? So what we'll do, we'll just put this project on pause for the time being. And because I have a lot of stuff I have to do with those videos, Jesus Christ. And I think we'll open up why don't we edit how many people we got in chat right now? So I have 2 projects I'm thinking about editing, but I'm not sure which ones y'all want. Yeah. So right to Mishi. You got in chat right now. No peeps. Okay. No peeps in the chat. Do show. Kana. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't blame him if since my shit cut out. Unfortunately. Aye. Okay. Can't really tell. Maybe Alright. Well, regardless. Here's what we'll do. I'm debating on whether or not I should edit a new Eric Mealtime or put together my shorts. I'm thinking my shorts for the stream, as it were. So I think it's what I'll do. Oh, those are the wrong ones. Those are the video editing shorts. Here, let me do a little reformatting here. Since we finished the AI videos for the time being, it it's kind of silly to put that up there now. So let's retitle the stream. And shorts videos. There we go. Okay. All right, cool. So we retitled the stream. Everything is Taguchi as far as that goes. Great. Okay. And just keep that there. Alrighty. So welcome to part 2 of the editing stream. Didn't expect to do a part 2 because I thought I was streaming earlier, but here we are. So with this part, we're going to be editing some of my upcoming shorts. So let's get Premiere all prepped up for that, and we'll get rocking and rolling. Let's see, y'all. Where are we at here? Oh, okay, I did that one already. All right, switch over to the chat, or switch over the. Y'all know the deal. So, filters, view. Oh, I forgot to. Hey again, long time no see. Sashi Buddy, desune. The Japanese may say. Yeah, sorry about that. The stream kind of cut off there, just as things were getting good. So, basically, I just finished editing the AI videos for the time being, because can't edit them anymore on stream because I have to do video capture and I can't do that in stream at the same time. So for now, we're gonna edit some shorts of mine. So here's the one that I published recently that's actually doing some pretty good numbers for me, for my channel anyway. So it was at like 1.2k views last I saw. It's only been up for like a day. So this one's already to Gucci's. So we'll do this Roger Swan tribute thing. Maybe.
720p. I think still like.
So we'll just do this quick little talk video. And basically the idea is we're going to cut this up into a little 3-minute clip or less, and then make it into a short.
Hey guys, Andy here, and today just want to do a little raw Gleepy vlog here on the Game Japan channel to commemorate the 10-year anniversary of the death of one of my YouTube heroes, the late, forever great Roger Swan. So, those who don't know who Roger Swan was, he was one of the...
So with shorts, intros don't really matter. You just got to get right the fuck into it. You know, because you don't have much time, so just, you know, dispense of all that fluff and nonsense.
Those who don't know who Roger Swan was, he was one of the, what I like to consider one of the original J-vloggers from way back in the day. Before he came out to Japan.
Actually, before I even get into this, why don't we... I should have done this to begin with, but actually, we'll...
Overall, really happy with pushing forward with that, part and due to Roger's death. You know, like his death. I mean, Roger died when he. You know, if we have any dreams, goals, passions, gotta do it. Do it now. So that's the attitude I've carried.
Okay. We'll just cut it off there, and then. So this is kind of the little bulk of things. So we'll go through transcribe. This is a fun little trick of the trade that will speed things up considerably. Like I said, I showed you my previous workflow where I had to like cut silences with like 5 keys a piece. This just does it for me. But yeah, so cue to you. I don't know if you were in the chat when things were, where things were going good. But I was talking with Twin Lamps earlier, and it got me thinking about restarting the Discord channel again. So I don't know, would you be interested in something like that? You know, the reason that I stopped the Discord channel initially was just because I didn't really have as much time to dedicate to it as I used to, because, you know, I was getting ready to graduate from Lakeland and was applying to a bunch of jobs and all this other stuff, and, you know, I just didn't have as much time to dedicate on Discord as I used to. So that's why I ended up shutting the channel down. But it's been a few years, and I'm thinking about starting it back up again. You know, and I won't be in it as much as I used to, but, you know, I think it would be a good sounding board for the community. And sweet, man, sweet. Yeah, I mean, if there's a demand for it, I'm more than happy to bring it back. Yeah, exactly. That was kind of the thing for me too. Like during old Clone Chan World Tour, it was pretty nice because like the Discord channels were very active, mine included. But once things started easing up with restrictions and things, became a lot less active, and I got a lot busier in the real life. So that's why I shut mine down. But I do miss that connection. So I think I was starting that sucker back up. Anyway, getting back to what I'm doing here. So now that the text has been transcribed from this video, we'll go up here to filler words, and it detected 39 filler words, ahs, and stuff like that. And so we'll just hit delete, extract, delete all, and it'll just automatically make those cuts. And then for pauses, you can adjust the pause setting. So I have it set at 2.5 seconds for minimum pause. For Eric and stuff like that, it's pretty good, but I like a tighter pause length, so I usually put mine at 0.5 seconds. So I'll hit that, and you see we have 59 pauses. So I'll do that, delete that, and once you know it, what was once a 9-minute clip is now less than 8.5 minutes. Just like that. And we'll get to these captions and stuff later, so for now, we'll just put it on effects. Yeah. So, let's see where we're at here.
Those who don't know who Roger Swan was, he was one of the, what I like to consider one of the original. He was one of the, what I like to consider one of the original J-bloggers from way back in the day. Before he came out to Japan, a lot of people knew him from like horror, like J-horror reviews that he would put on his channel. And he got accepted to study abroad at Keio University out here in Tokyo back in 2007. So it's been quite the time.
2007.
And during that time,
Skip that.
And during that time, he made a little series of videos on a small little website you might know of as YouTube. And the series is called Tokyo Swan. And it was highly inspired by another one of my. That time, he made a little series of videos on videos. And the series is called Tokyo Swan. And it was highly inspired by another one of my YouTube heroes, Tokyo Kuni. And Roger made a series of videos to kind of show people. Roger made a series of videos to kind of show people around the local Tokyo area, show highly inspired by another one of my YouTube heroes, Tokyo Kuni, to kind of show people around the local Tokyo area, show people what life is like as a college student in Tokyo, going to one of the most prestigious universities out here in Tokyo. Keio is often considered probably like the second, sometimes #1 university. It kind of goes neck and neck with Todai, or Tokyo University, and Waseda as well. So Keio is like basically going to Harvard or Yale or Stanford for my fellow Mercagen audience. And yeah, well, Roger's out here. Stanford. Yeah, well, Roger's.
Let's space that out just a scoosh more.
Stanford. Yeah, well, Roger's out here. Made a whole series of videos called Tokyo Swan. Definitely recommend you guys check them out. And granted, keep in mind.
Oh yeah, you have my personal Discord on there, so I can, yeah, that's the one. So I can send you a DM once I get the new channel up and running. So, yep, that's the one. Hey, gotcha.
And granted, keep in mind, this is like over 10 years ago, so obviously it's not in super high def 4K, it's not even in like 720p, it's still in like 480, 240, something like that. It's pretty low res, but it was kind of the resolution of the time, so keep that in mind. But I still think those videos hold up. Or Stanford. But I still think those videos hold up, man, because the one thing that I admired the most, Yale or Stanford, the one thing that I admired the most about Roger was his relatability and the connection he had with his audience. And for me, you know, we're both got family out in Michigan. He's on Val Creek, Kalamazoo side. Later on, I went to Western Michigan University, the same university he went to. And but he's got. But he's got family on one side. You know, we're both got family out in Michigan. He's on. But he's got family on one side of the mitt, and I got family on the other. So in a lot of ways, we related through that, and I remember corresponding with him a lot in the YouTube comments, and he'd send emails and stuff back and forth. You know, I'd always ask him about the music he would use in his videos, because this is pretty new for the time. It wasn't until fairly recently that people started in his videos, because this is pretty music he would use to own music, so he wouldn't have to worry about using copyrighted music or any other stuff. It was all like Buddy made him little, incidental pieces of music and stuff. So all the music you hear in Tokyo Swan and later on in Iwate Swan was all stuff that Buddy made, and it's just pretty crazy to think like how far ahead Roger was in those terms. But yeah, he made the Tokyo Swans. Yeah, he made the Tokyo Swan series during his time out here in Tokyo. He was a stage student out at KO, and when his time was up, he went back to And when his time was up, he went back to Kalamazoo, Michigan to finish up his degree at Western Michigan. And once he was all finished up with that, he applied to the JET program and got accepted and went to go teach at school out in Hanwaki, which is in Wate again, for sure. So as those who know, later on became one of the most affected areas from the 3/11 typhoon earthquake, and a lot of buildings and stuff were lost out there. But during Roger's time, he resumed the Swan series. Iwate Prefecture. He resumed the Swan series, but renamed it Iwate Swan to reflect the new area. And I think that even though his Tokyo Swan series I like the most just because it's a familiar territory, I really do enjoy his Iwate Swan series as well, because I feel like that's when he really started coming into his own as a YouTuber, filmmaker, or whatever buzzword you want to use to describe him. But I think he really came into his own with that series, and you could see a lot of growth in terms of video production. You got a better camera. You could see a lot of his own as a YouTuber. You could see a lot of
probably expand that a little bit more.
YouTuber series, and you can see a lot of as a YouTuber, and you can see a lot of growth in terms of video production. You got a better camera, so scenery was a lot clearer. I mean, granted, it's still 480p, but still it's better than 240, literally twice as better, but 240. yeah, with that series, he was continuing on from where took 240. Yeah, with that series, he was continuing on from where Tokyo Swan left off. And sadly, on this day, January 27th, 2010, so on this day, 10 years ago, Roger Swan passed away from acute pancreatitis. I don't know all the details, but basically one of his friends acute pancreatitis.
Okay, I think we'll cut it off there for the short. Goodness. Okay, just shy of 3 minutes. Nice. I wish I could add more, but it's a short, not a long, so. You know. Huh? So, let's get a little refilly. You know, it's hard to. Yeah, I would definitely recommend going through the Wate Swan stuff. Tokyo Swan stuff first, just to give you an idea about him and his character. Oh, thanks, bro. That means a lot, you know. Because I remember looking up at those guys, you know, even old Tikio Sam, especially like Sam's old stuff, like his really old stuff from back when he was living in a cheap ass apartment in Chiba. Like those old like Big in Japan episodes were fucking awesome, man. And every once in a while, I think a couple months ago, I actually like went and rewatched a couple of the old Big in Japan episodes. It was just like you know. Had me a little nostalgic for days gone by. And like Roger's stuff and Cooney's stuff, I still say it holds up. I mean, even though I said in here, it's cut off for the short, but I said in here that you know, you have to forgive the resolution and stuff like that because it's of its time. But the content, I think, is still pretty fucking solid. You know, like those were the guys that were out there just fucking showing off Japan and life out here rather than just talking about it in their rooms. Even though I'm doing that streaming here, but at least here at the time, this was when I was in the guest house at Nakano Shimbashi. So this is when I first moved back to Japan. My very brief time living in Tokyo. Yeah, I got that super cheap guest house. That was the one Sam was living in at the time. I got it through him. And just did that to save money and be very close to school. And when, you know, I didn't mind living in the box at the time because I knew it was just for a few months until the GI Bill started kicking in. I started getting paid regularly because before then I was just living off of savings. And I didn't have a whole lot of savings at the time. I had like maybe, like 1,200, maybe 1,500 USD. Like way, like about half of what most people would recommend coming over to this country with. But I somehow managed to make it work, especially living in this guest house on the super cheap really helped. And yeah. But then when Soul Coloni Macaroni hit, you know, everybody started, there's a lot more people in the guest house because a lot of them either lost their jobs or they got their hours cut or they were working from home or doing school from home like I was at the time. And so I didn't have enough space to work on my homework, and so I'd have to like go into my box to like work on that stuff and also attend classes because a lot of restaurants and places were closing down as well, so I couldn't just go to the McDonald's and bum off the Wi-Fi and do it that way. So yeah, that shit got real depressing real quick. You know, and I wasn't in the best mental state at the time. So that's when I decided to look for another place, because, you know, my intention wasn't to live in the box forever. It was just meant to be a temporary thing until the GI Bill started kicking in. But once Clean Macaroni hit, I ended up leaving, I think like maybe a month or two before I was looking to leave. Just expedited it a little bit, you know, because I wanted to have some checks in savings and stuff like that, so I wasn't like emptying everything out as soon as my first check hit. You know, I just wanted to get some savings and then find a place and then, you know, move in. I think, you know, if Clean Macaroni didn't hit, I probably would have moved in like after my first semester. So probably during that break period or maybe the next one. So probably around like either May or August, somewhere around there, I would have moved in or found a place to move in. That was what I was planning on doing. But then once all that stuff hit, it's like, yeah, being in an open air guest house isn't exactly conducive to my health. And, you know, if you see the people that were living in the box at the time, they were, well, to put it politely, they didn't always wash their hands. So you can just imagine what other stuff they did or didn't do, hygiene-wise. So I didn't want to be in that environment anymore. So I was like, okay, let's find a new spot. And then that's when the fallout between me and Sam happened, and that's when it's just like, okay, this is, you know, really got to expedite these things. So that's when I found my place in Kawasaki, and yeah. Oh, that's when you tuned in, was the Nakanoshimbashi guest house? Oh, Lord. Man. So you didn't see like any of my other, from like my other time in Japan stuff? Yeah, exactly. I mean, no shame in starting off like that, but yeah, long term, it's not a good idea. It's just a means to like get you started, give you some time to save up, get a lay of the land, and then afterwards, deuce. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we both ended up finding better spots, you know, so all's well that ends well. K-R-O-G-E-R. Replace with R-O-D-G-E-R. Replace them all. And then Swan with S-W-A-N. Butte. Sometimes they add like an extra N in there. Parasocial. Both of you got better to do. Oh, so you did end up watching the old stuff. Cool, cool. Parasocial things until COVID. Nah, I get you, man. I get you. Yeah, I was going back and yeah, it's a very crucial time in one's life, you know, the development stages and stuff like that. Yeah, shit, man. I remember when I first moved out, the first time I ever was away from my parents, that I like lived away from my parents, was my second time in college or university. Because my first time I went to, after I graduated high school, I went to this tech school, but I would commute. So I would still live with my folks, and I would still commute back and forth to the school, still work just under full time. So I wouldn't get benefits or nothing. Your compilations on recommend. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, I did the long form stuff just because I know some people don't really like the playlists. Thanks, bro. It means a lot. But yeah, I did the compilations and stuff just because I feel like sometimes it's easy for people to just put some of that stuff on, just have it as like second monitor content while they're working. Because I do that with a lot of other people too. Just have either like a podcast or something else going on in the background while especially when I'm editing videos. Like shit, like I don't have anything else going on during this time. This is probably the most action I see during editing sessions. So I just either have like some music on or like a podcast or something going on while I'm editing here. So that's fun. Alright, let's check the captions.
Those who don't know who Roger Swan.
Oh, did I say 4 of those or those?
Those who don't know
Okay.
who Roger Swan was, he was one of the what I like to consider.
What I like to consider. See, this is the nice thing about having these be all caps is I don't have to like, constantly shift it and stuff. I just type it out. Related J space vloggers. Oop. This one? There we go. Sorry, I'm on a Japanese keyboard. My muscle memory gets a little squeaky sometimes.
What I like to consider one of the original J vloggers from way back in the day. Before he came out to Japan, a lot of people knew him from like horror, like J horror reviews that he would put up on his channel.
Okay.
He would put up on his channel, and he got accepted to study abroad at Keio University out here in Tokyo back in 2007. And during that time, he made a little series of videos, and the series was called Tokyo Swan. And it was highly inspired by another one of my YouTube heroes, Tokyo.
Oh, it's spelled Kuni like that. Not.
By another one of my YouTube heroes, Tokyo Kuni, to kind of show people around the local Tokyo area, show people what life is like as a college student in Tokyo, going to one of the most prestigious universities out here in Tokyo. Keio is...
Oop, I spelled Kale. They spelled it right the first time. That's E-I-O. K-E-I-O. So.
Keio is often considered probably like the second, sometimes #1 university.
Also sometimes I like to correct the spacing of these, especially if you can knock it down a bit so it's not too much unnecessary space.
Sometimes #1 university. It kind of goes neck and neck with Todai, or Tokyo University.
Comma's in the wrong spot there, guy. Okay.
With Todai, or Tokyo University, and Waseda as well.
Hey, you spelled Waseda right.
Keio,
Hey, they got K-O spelled right there as well.
It's like basically going to Harvard or Yale.
Harvard or Yale.
Going to Harvard or Yale or Stanford. The one thing that I admired the most about Roger was his relatability and the connection he had with his audience. And for me, you know, we're both got family out in Michigan, but he's got family on one side of the mitt, and I got family.
Oh, it's two T's for mitt. This is short for mitten. So, those who don't know, the state of Michigan basically looks like your left hand, like the back of your left hand. So, how we would, this is a very local reference for those non-Michiganders out there. So what we would do is we would show directions based on the back of our hand. So like, say for instance, Lansing, the capital, is about here-ish, like right in the middle-ish here. Detroit is over here, kind of like in the bottom part of the thumb, maybe top part, depending on where in Detroit you are. And then Kalamazoo, Battle Creek is over here. Yeah, about here-ish. So you got Kalamazoo, like really by the coast, and then Battle Creek is just a little over. And then you have Grand Rapids, which is up about here, just a little below the knuckle. And then you got other parts like going to like Mackinac Island, which is in like the top fingers, which is a little bridge up to UP, Upper Peninsula, stuff like that. So that's literally how we would give directions sometimes. Like, oh yeah, so you want to go out to Lansing, but you're in Ann Arbor, which is like here. So yeah, Ann Arbor's like down here, and you want to go to Lansing, so you got to go up this way, and there's Lansing. Okay, guy, you got it. So, yeah. So I was born in Michigan. My mom's side of the family is from Michigan, but to me, I relate more to being from Ohio because that's where I was raised. Born in Michigan, raised in Ohio. So if anybody asks, where are you from? I would say Ohio. So that's the easiest way for me to say it rather than go through the whole rigmarole of things. All right, so shit, where was I?
And for me, you know.
Oops. And for me, you know, we're both
got thick.
Could probably cut this down a little bit. So I got family. I did misspeak here, so we'll just keep that in.
You know, we're both got family out in Michigan, but he's got family on one side of the mitt, and I got family on the other. So in a lot of ways, we related through that.
Through that, not to that. Okay.
And I remember corresponding with him a lot in the YouTube comments and send emails and stuff back and forth. You know, I'd always ask him about the music he would use. And when his time with...
I think we can cut the music line out because it doesn't really go anywhere. But I would send emails about his music because, and this is something I cut out. It's in the original cut, but for the short, I cut this out. But basically, back in the day, a lot of vloggers and stuff would use copyrighted music. And when all these copyright holders started really laying the hammer down on YouTube for that, a lot of videos got taken down or they got their audio completely muted. And the videos would be largely unwatchable because it would just be, you know, that. So, to mitigate that, Roger actually, he didn't have like a collection of like lo-fi tracks or something like that. He had a buddy of his custom make. He had his own bespoke music that his buddy would make for him for his series. And it had like motifs and things, so it wasn't just like standard background music that his buddy just happened to have that he just farted out. Like it was like composed for him. You know, he had the da 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 da, and every once in a while in like some of the songs you would hear like a da 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 da, which is the Tokyo Swan. And then later with Iwate Swan, they updated that it was Iwate Swan. You know, so you'd hear little motifs in the music, and it was like, damn, this is, you know, it was revolutionary back then, and even today, like, you don't see other YouTubers doing that kind of shit. They're usually just like either getting stuff from the YouTube music library, which is what I do, guilty as charged, or they get these like copyright free music licensing companies. Like I used to use fuck, what was the name of it called? Come on, brain. What was it? Friggin' Jesus. Epidemic Sound. That's what it was. Sorry, it's been a minute. But yes, I used to use Epidemic Sound for my music, and I use it for Eric Surf 6's stuff as well. He still continues to use it. And I used to use it, but yeah, it was just, you know, they kept raising the price, and, you know, the cost of that plus Adobe and all this other shit, it just became too much, so I had to like cut back on a couple things, and that's one of them. Nothing against the service. The service is great. I still stand by it today, but I just don't have the money to afford it right now. So, sorry guys. Yeah, like the AVGN song. Yeah, actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, yeah, AVGN was another one that did like bespoke music. Like he had his "You Gotta Take You Back to the Past, play them shitty games that suck ass." But like he would have little instrumental music where he would have or something like that. He would do little stings, I think is what it's called. And you're right, it gives it so much personality rather than just inserting a bunch of random shit from a copyright-free website, which again I'm 100% guilty of. But yeah, if I had the choice of bespoke music or that, I would pick the bespoke music in terms of quality. But you know,
related to that, and I remember corresponding with him a lot in the YouTube.
Oh shit! Speaking of which, that
comments and send emails and stuff back and forth. You know, I'd always ask.
Okay, so we'll keep the emails and stuff part, and we'll just cut this a little bit out. Because like I said, it doesn't really.
He would use.
Okay, so we'll split this caption up. And so cut that part, delete that.
And when his time was.
And then we'll just end when his time was up. Jeez, they're really heavy-handed with these comments, or commas, are they? Goodness. So let's.
I remember corresponding with him a lot in YouTube comments, and send emails and stuff back and forth. And when his time was up, he went back to Kalamazoo.
Hey, they spelled it right. That's a rarity. Most other places, the best bet is to say, yeah, back to Kazoo, Michigan. Yeah, I used to live in Kalamazoo when I got out of the Navy. That's the first school I went to was Rogers' alma mater, Western Michigan. I was out there for I think about a year or two.
To Michigan to finish up his degree.
Yep, let's get rid of that comma.
To finish up his degree at Western Michigan. And once he was all finished up with that, he applied to the JET program and got accepted and went to go teach at a school out in Hanamaki.
Interesting. Sir Hanamaki. So they spelled it right, but there is no space between Hana and Maki. It's Hanamaki, one word. And we'll just get rid of that comma as well. And he was what? What? fuck does that mean?
Which is in Iwate-ken.
Oh, which is in Iwate-ken. Which is then he what again? Oh, Lord. Or Iwate Prefecture. Or Iwate Prefecture. Okay. There's some kind of announcement going on. Chotomate. See, the nice thing about living in Chigasaki is every once in a while they would give these little announcements. But the thing is, well, for one, it's kind of hard to understand the Japanese because they have this like kind of robotic way of speaking. But also where I'm at, because they would do the announcements too in Kawasaki as well, but I'd be able to hear it. I think because I was closer to the speaker. Here I'm not so close, so I would hear the boom, 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 boom. You know, I'd hear them speaking. Boom, boom, boom. But I wouldn't hear I wouldn't hear what they're saying. So the nice thing is if you live in Chigasaki. I think other cities do this too, but you can go to their city website and actually see a translated version of what they said. And it's updated in real time too. So, so what was just posted here, apparently 5 minutes ago at the time this was live stream, this is Chigasaki disaster prevention. Summer vacation is over and school starts tomorrow. We ask everyone in the community to keep an eye on the children and students. Thanks. And also, they would post like missing persons. A couple hours ago, at 10 o'clock, they announced a heat stroke warning, which is why I haven't gone to the beach yet. It's way too damn hot. That's the thing about this summer, man. Like, I wanted to go to the beach more, especially when I was off. Because, like I said, you know, from where I'm at in Chigasaki, I'm like a 10-minute walk to the beach. I'm very close. So, logistics aren't an issue. It's so bloody hot. And it seems like every summer for the past 3 summers has been record-breaking heat. Because, like, look, I know Japan's hot in the summertime. I know. I've lived here before. I've played these games before. But Christ, man, when every summer for the past 3 summers has been record-breaking heat, you get to a point where you're like, do I even want to go to the beach anymore? Because, like, it gets so hot that, like, even the ocean water is, like, bathroom temperature warm. It's like bathwater warm, I should say. And, like, bloody hell, man. It's too fucking hot. And I feel so bad because, like, I want to go out with my friends and hang out, and I feel like I haven't really done that much this summer. And, you know, especially I live in Shonan, so, like, Shonan, like, summertime's, like, the time in Shonan, but it's too bloody hot. Sorry, guys, if you're watching this. That's the reason why. I'm not trying to be an antisocial gremlin. I'm just not trying to fucking melt or catch flame, if you will. Yeah. Okay, it's just someone might murder kids. Yeah. It's like, dude, take this knife. Maybe a cup of acid for the rich kids. But, you know. Yeah, that's kind of the scary thing too. This is like a lot of kids in Japan, you know, they want to, whenever I hear about like study abroad programs and stuff for kids in Japan, it's always like they want to go to either America or the UK, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. And especially if they want to go to America, it's always New York. It's either New York or LA. And I'm like, I don't know, man. That's if you're just going to New York, like, you're trading one major metropolitan area for another. And yeah, there's differences between Tokyo and New York, but like, you know, it after a couple days is just kind of yeah, exactly. Got your knife-proof vest. You got your acid shield. Sweet. Have fun, dear. Yeah, exactly. You know. But I think one of the nice things, though, is that with the collapse of the yen, is that a lot of kids are looking to study abroad in more affordable parts of the world. So most study abroad programs nowadays are geared towards, namely Australia, New Zealand, because the yen is close to or at parity with the yen. So those areas are very popular. Canada is another very popular area as well. Okay. We back? Oh, alright. We back. Yeah, exactly, you know, and it's... Okay, cool. Alright, great. Yeah, I don't want it to drop off again. I don't want to do a part 3 of this fucking live stream. Christ. This is why I don't do live streams as often as I used to. So these drops like this. Yeah, you have to forgive me if shit goes awry.
Got accepted and went to go to teach at a school out in Hanamaki, which is in Iwate-ken, Iwate Prefecture.
Okay, so I didn't say or. My bad.
Which is in Iwate-ken, Iwate Prefecture. He resumed the Swan series, but renamed it Iwate Swan.
You won a swan. Iwate Swan. Golly. I can't make this up, guys. I swear. I feel we need to go. Need more time to sort out shit before I go. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same with you, man. You know, there is a lot to love. I never lived in the UK. Only passed through it through the airport. So I only had a brief glimpse into things, but yeah, when it comes to living in America, like there's a lot of things I loved about living in America. But you know, for me, I need to get my own shit sorted as well. Because if I were to like move back to live in America like more than just a few months or a year, then I would have to really get some things going, namely have my own business. Because that's the goal for me, man, especially out here, is to be able to run my own business. Because this working life's for the birds. Omoimasu. So, you know, the play is, you know, once you get your footing here, and you know you've been either like teaching or just working at something else, depending what you're doing. The play is to break off to do something else. So a lot of guys and gals out here use teaching as a stepping stone, as they should. You know, to move on to bigger and better careers out here in Japan. So, but that being said, you know, if you're really into teaching and education, there are higher paths for that as well. Like you could get into recruiting. A couple buddies of mine are recruiters or have worked as recruiters. So that's another possibility. You could move into more of like an administrative role as well. So you're not like teaching, but you do like admin work, like set up schedules and do all the in-between shit for the school, for instance. There's a good follow for, you know, teaching in Asia, but not doing like the Joe Blow English teacher nonsense. Busan Kevin O'Shea, he's a prime example of somebody who has really taken to being an educator and just really progressing beyond Joe Blow English teacher into something bigger. And he's taught all around Asia. He's taught in friggin' Malaysia, he's taught in Korea, taught in Japan, he's taught in China a couple times, and I think now he's moved away from China, and then now he's moving back to China, or has moved back to China. So yeah, it's it can be done, but again, the onus is on you to make that shit happen. So yeah, but it's not gonna be easy. It's a simple answer, but it's not easy. So I mean, for me, I have a lot of plans for starting my own business out here. If I did have to move back to America, it would be a little different, but I still would want to start my own business, so that way I could be more in control of things, because I don't want to be dependent on somebody else to provide money for me, because the way this world has shown me so cruelly is that these jobs just don't give a fuck about you, man. They don't care. They don't fucking care. So it's up to you to make the most of your time, whether you're working or not. I don't begrudge anybody for working a job, but it's up to you to frame it as a stepping stone, and not, because the idea of a lifelong employment somewhere it's a fallacy. You just have to always be looking beyond, is what I'm trying to say. And like I said, not begrudging anybody working a job. I work one myself. But you just got to get to a point where you're less and less dependent on these people. You know your market value, know what you're worth, and can negotiate as such. So thanks for coming to my TED Talk, y'all. My English teaching friends have been bailing on it. Yeah, that's the thing with teaching English, and there's that's the thing with teaching English, and there's little differences between the countries and stuff like that, but the general consensus is that it is a just a foot in the door, temporary job. Some folks, they just do it so they can live abroad for a year and then fuck off back home. And I used to for a year and then fuck off back home. And I used to really shit on those people, because I'm thinking if you're gonna live in another country, you gotta fucking commit. Those people, because I'm thinking if you're gonna live in another country, you gotta fucking commit, right? If you're here to live, be about it, right? But you know what? Some people, they just want a little peek at life outside of their little bubble, and then after that, all right, time to go back home. And you know what? That's okay. And English teaching is a good conduit for that. It gives you, I wouldn't say a good salary, unless you have teaching certs, or you go to an international school, or if you teach at a university level, for instance. You're not going to be seeing that good of a salary. And especially if you live city side, it's going to be even worse, because the cost of living is much higher. At least if you live outside of those major areas, yeah, you're getting a shitty salary, but the cost of living is much lower, so it kind of evens out, right? But yeah, the whole English teaching thing, as it isn't meant to be a long-term career. Just meant to be a stepping stone for you to go to the next level, whether that's like I said before, a managerial admin role if you want to stay within education, or moving up to different higher education if you want to get to the collegiate level, or college university level, or an international school level. Obviously you have to have your quals up. As we said in the military, you got to have those certificates and things, your TEFL. Number one, you have to have a teaching certificate from your home country. Those are huge. And if you want to teach at a university level full-time, you have to have your master's degree. You can teach at university on a bachelor's, but the best you can do is part-time. You know, be a what do they call them? Like those part-time professors. Anyway, you guys get it. Adjunct professor, I think is what they're called. So that would be the best you could hope for in that regard. So you definitely got to get your education up if you want to continue in the education field. Outside of education, there's plenty of opportunities out here, especially in IT, because this country is hungry for IT workers. You know, there's a lot of things. Oh, I gotta have like N1, N2 Japanese level to work outside of English teaching, and like that's true for a lot of things. Not so much for IT. There's some places where you do, but for the most part, they're so fucking starved for IT workers. They're like, we don't give a shit if you know anything Japanese. Just fucking come over and help us build this website. Come on, bro. You know? And the pay is, you know, it's compared to other countries, the pay is much lower, but compared to other jobs within Japan, it's significantly higher. It's a lot higher than teaching English, I'll tell you that for certain. But that's one way, and there's just loads of opportunities, even for creators, you know, video editors like myself. I'm seeing it pop up, not every day, but every once in a while. I see these little opportunities pop up for like digital marketing, or even like if you want to get more specific, there's actually people looking specifically for YouTube editors that can edit in a YouTube style, or even shorts style of content. That's one I'm seeing a lot of lately. So there's opportunities that are out there, and they're going to continue to be out there. So you just got to be on the lookout for that shit, man. Yeah, getting back to the comments. Sorry, I was kind of in my bag there. Yeah, man, life will provide, you know, if you look back on the shit you did everything you want so far, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's still shit that I want to do. You know, shit that I've wanted to do that I didn't get a chance to do. Like, be able to work full-time as a video editor. You know, like, I've gotten, like, part-time jobs doing video editing work. And, you know, and I do freelance work. But to be able to, you know, work full-time, visa-sponsored, or have my visa sponsored through other means, and just work 9 to 5 on video editing, like, I'm not there yet. But I like to be there. I like to have my own business, whether it's helping myself or others, making content, you know. I'd like to be there. But that's the next goal, man. That's the next goal. You know, even when I was in Kawasaki, you know, and I got picked up for a gig down here in Shonan. It was through a friend of a friend, Mike from the Chill Japan channel. Got picked up. That's how I met him. Actually, he was looking for a video editor for a Hawaii gig that he did. He did like a live show, but because it's COVID, it was taped. So it was live to tape show, but he didn't know how to edit it to make it look engaging, because he had all these video files and audio files, and he didn't know what the fuck to do with them. And, you know, he didn't have the expertise for that stuff. But, you know, he was talking with our mutual friend, and then he got in touch with me, and like, hey, you know, my friend Mike is looking for somebody to help with this thing. You want to come on down and help? I'm like, hell yeah, man. So we came down to his spot down in Shonan. I remember we ordered some pizza from Domino's, and I drank my body weight in peach papaya chuhais, which were 9%ers, which 9% chuhais nowadays are a rarity. I think because of alcohol tax or some shit like that, or maybe some pushback from doctors saying, oh my god, these 9% chuhais are going to be the death of everybody. Whatever the case, not as many 9%ers. Now they top off at 7, but I digress. So I was going down, hanging out with Mike down in Shonan at his pad. He's, you know, he does a lot of Hawaiian themed events in the area. And he had this show lined up and he didn't know what the fuck to do with it. So I was looking through all the files and I'm like, yeah, I can put this together, no problem. He's like, oh shit, really? I'm like, yeah, dude. Just give me all the stuff. And he would give me little pointers, because like a lot of the dances and stuff I'm not very familiar with. So instead of watching the hand movements, he said always watch the feet. The feet will let you know what move they're going to do next and when to transition and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, man. And he would tell me, oh, you got to cut here, you got to do this. It was a little strenuous at times, but the pizza was getting passed out. The drinks were drank. The drinks were drank, if you will. And it was a fucking blast, man. I had such a good time doing that. And that's when he became one of my very good friends, especially out here in Shonan. And he really showed me, because afterwards we just got to talking about life in Shonan. And it became a place where, because like I've come out to Shonan before. Like this is like I said, this is a very popular summer destination. So like during the summer, if I was up in Tokyo or I was Kawasaki, namely, I would come down to Shonan to hang out with my friends and go to the beach and stuff. But to live here is a whole different story. And he's the one that showed me that it is possible to make a living out here and to make something of yourself out here. And in hanging out with him and getting to meet other people in the Shonan community and seeing how open and warm these people are, it's a far cry from the city, man. It's a far fucking cry from those tight asses up in Tokyo. And even in Kawasaki, a lot of people would just they would walk on the other side of the street if I would come walking around, especially during Colony Macaroni. They'd see a not Japanese person walking around. They'd be like, oh, he's got the Roni baloney. We gotta, even if I was masked up and stuff, they would still run to the other side of the street and just not even look me in the eye. Just, and you'd see that shit all the time and it would just fucking wear on you. But then, dude, for real, it's fucking awesome. Yeah, it's a very popular summer destination for Tokyo people, especially. It's a day trip for them. So the main beaches out here are in Enoshima and Kamakura. So the beach that I would like to hang out, or that I hang out at the most in Enoshima, because there's two beaches in Enoshima. There's Higashiyama and Nishihama. Higashiyama is the biggest beach. It's the most popular beach, for better or worse. It's good if you want to meet a lot of people and go to a lot of beach huts and things. But if you're not into the overcrowding and things like that, if you want just a more chill vibe type experience, the beach that I go to the most is Nishihama. And it's a much smaller area. They have expanded it over the years, but it's much smaller. The beach huts, I think, are a lot better. The beach hut I always go to, and my friends always go to, is this place called Play the Earth. They serve Jamaican jerk chicken. It's not super spicy because, Japanese standards. But the taste is really good. The vibes are fucking immaculate out there. I even took a lot of my coworkers out to that spot back when the beach huts were open. They loved it. They had a fucking blasty blast out there. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that spot's pretty good. Out in Kamakura, there's a couple of beaches out that way. The one beach we used to go to a lot, we still do from time to time, is Yuigahama. So that's very popular with families and single folks and stuff like that. So that's the most popular beach, is Yuigahama. But the one we've been going to a lot lately is the beach on the other side called Zaimoksa, because they have some really interesting beach huts out that way. And the folks out there are really super cool. It's a little more of a local spot than Yuigahama. Yuigahama is more for the Tokyo day trippers and stuff. Zaimoksa is more for the locals. But a couple day trippers come walking in every once in a while. But it's a lot more chill. And then the beach that I'm at in Chigasaki, Southern Beach, fucking dope as shit. Just the vibes are immaculate. There's not as many beach huts here as there are in like Enoshima or Kamakura, because we don't get as much traffic from those places. But what it lacks in quantity, it more than makes up for in quality, because the absolute GOAT beach house in all of Shonan, all over the place, I can say with absolute certainty, is the Keowana Beach Hut in Chigasaki. They serve the best food. They have just immaculate vibes, and I always have a good time when I'm there. So if you're out in Chigasaki, that's the fucking spot to be. Keowana's. They have a dedicated restaurant as well, so even during the off season you can just go there and eat some food. But during the on season, they launch a beach hut out there, beach house. So it's a fucking awesome place to be if you want to go swimming and stuff. Yeah, dude. Like I said, I'm fucking stoked about Shonan. You know, I fucking love this place, and this place, you know, has shown me a lot of love too. You know, so I'm more than happy to share that online. Yeah, bro. Oh, 2026, let's fucking go, man. You got plenty of time to be planning stuff. Yeah, but like I said, you know, summer, if you're coming from a cooler environment than Japan, it's definitely something to get used to. It's a very humid, hot type of heat, so you have to be very prepared for that. Bring sunscreen. Please bring sunscreen. We have it here, and it's very good quality, but the bottles are very small. And if you're a hairy fella like myself, even though I'm not that hairy, but by Japanese standards I'm hairy, yeah, dude, you know, I've wanted to like chill out at the beaches in Australia. I visited Sydney and Melbourne. Those are the only spots I've visited in Australia so far. I like Sydney way more than Melbourne. Melbourne had like cool architecture and stuff, but I just felt the people were like really fucking snobbish and just up their own ass about stuff. And I'm just like, this is not the usual. This isn't how the usual pack of Aussies that I hang out with are like. You know, they're very gregarious and very, you know, welcoming and stuff. And these guys are like, I don't want to fucking know you. Fuck out of here, you Yankee cunt. You know? So I was just like, huh. Yeah, it's rough, bud. But if you can hang during Japanese summertime, there's a lot of cool shit you can do out here. Depending on when you come, like if you come even during the rainy season out here in Shonan, there's stuff to do. So you can go to the temples up in like northern Kamakura for the ajisai or hydrangeas. There's a lot of temples out here dedicated to just hydrangeas. So even during rainy season when there's nothing to do, you can go to those spots. And yeah, I didn't like Melbourne either. It looked nice, but the people were fucking up their own ass. Yeah, 100% agree. Sydney, it was like being in San Diego, but full of Aussies. So I fucking had a great old time up in Sydney. I haven't been to any other spot either. I haven't been to like Brisbane or Adelaide or Perth or none of that other stuff. So those are the only two spots I've been to. But yeah, had a great fucking time in Sydney, let me tell you. We went to the zoo. Did we go to the aquarium? No, it was Singapore we went to the aquarium at. Went to the fucking zoo, hung out with the kangaroos and shit. There's like a couple of them just hanging out. I'm like, oh, cool. You know? Saw koalas and all this kinds of touristy shit. We walked down a Harborside Saw like the historic battleships and things like that. There's a flight simulator. My buddy, he wanted to go to that. I'm not really that into flying, but even I thought it was pretty interesting. Yeah, man, we just had a fucking blasty blast. And also the fucking, I got a little sea story for y'all for that. So, there's this, I'm assuming it's a franchise of meat pie trucks called Henry's. And they would always be right outside the gate. So whenever us Navymen would yeah, the zoo was fucking dope, dude. I loved it. I think we went to the aquarium. I don't remember. I think so. Might have been like a double thing. But regardless, yeah, for real. So, there's this meat pie truck franchise called Henry's, and they would always be parked right outside the gate. So whenever anybody would leave the ship to like go out in town, we would always fucking walk past it. And so the big thing between us guys was getting the meat pies, as it were. And yeah, so I remember our command master chief, our CMC, he came back drunk as a fucking skunk. And he had bought like a bunch of meat from this truck. And he was walking to go to his rest area, his rack, which is in the back of the ship. And the hatch to go down it is a bit steeper than the other hatch, which what the normal enlisted folks go down to like go to our berth, just for chasing a meat pie down the stairs. So that was kind of like a friggin' running joke for us. You know, watch out for the meat pies in the stairs, man. They'll get you. Get you off the ship, boy. Don't go chasing no meat pies. So. Yeah, Potts Point. I think that's what it was called. It's been a minute since I was there. Like shit. Had been like 2014, I think, is when we went out there. So it's been a minute, but yeah, that was a fucking riot, man. Had a blasty blast out there. So I would say Sydney was probably my second favorite port visit. Sorry, but the absolute best was Donghae in South Korea, which is usually Donghae is like, I mean, we got some funny ones too. Like we got friggin' Kalamazoo. We got fucking Puyallup, which is in Washington State on the West Coast. We got some funny ones too. But I get you. But yeah, my all-time favorite port visit, all time, will not be topped. Was the one we went to in Donghae, South Korea, which is normally a really shit port visit because you're very far away from Seoul. You can get to Seoul, but you have to take a bus, and it takes like an hour or two to get out there. If you're even allowed to go out to Seoul, you have to be given special permission and all those kinds of stuff. But when we went to Donghae, it was there was an international incident out in town. I guess some people who were stationed out in it's not Busan, Osan. Out in Osan, they, I guess, were drunk off their ass and punched somebody or some shit went down. And basically the base commander laid out a thing where nobody can drink. If you're in the military and you're in that area, you cannot drink. However, there was one exception. And that exception was going to this command event. So the thing is, we were basically on lockdown. We couldn't go out in town. And we couldn't drink. Except for this command party. So it was meant to be like a bonding sort of international relations type thing between us and the ROK Navy. ROK being Republic of Korea, South Korea. So between us and the ROK Navy. And so what it was even though we were on good relations with the Rock Navy, they would try to like butter us up and try to get like secrets from us. You know, especially for me being a sonar tech, they were always trying to like ask us, oh, you know, what kind of systems do you guys have, and oh, what kind of technology? Oh, I hear you have this type of thing. Oh, where's your sonar room, and all kinds of other shit. And they would get us drunk off our asses off a soju, which is Korean rice wine, and they would try to get the answers out of us. So I was just there. I friggin' drank so much soju. I ate my body weight in kimchi and fucking bibimbap and bulgogi, and they had all these just amazing Korean dishes. Oh my god, dude, it was a fucking amazing time. And so it was us, a bunch of enlisted folks. And the thing is, on the Korean side, it was all like high level officers. So we're talking like commanders, captains, and like admirals, like top end officers are attending this fucking party. So I'm talking to like commanders, COs, commanding officers of fucking ships in the Republic of Korean Navy. And I'm just sitting there fucking sipping my soju and just numbing on fucking kimchi and bulgogi and all kinds of other shit. And they're just sitting there asking me, so I hear you guys have an array system for your sonar. That's very interesting. What kind of frequencies does it use? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. You know, but hey. And, you know, of course, they're like very polite, so they want to like pour you the soju. There's a lot of similarities between, you know, Koreans and Japanese. So, you know, you don't pour your own glass, they pour it for you. So, you know, oh, my soju glass is getting a little empty. They're like, oh, we'll get you some. Yeah, no worries. Oh, this is a very fine soju. It's from this, you know, very renowned part of Korea that is known for growing, I don't know, it's like potatoes or something that they make the soju from, stuff like that. Or like rice or something like that. Yeah, this area is known for making soju, and oh my god, the mouthfeel is like very good. And so they're like really trying to like butter us up to like get these secrets from us, right? So the whole night it's just this whole like cat and mouse game of, you know, are you gonna tell us a little something about your sonar system and all kinds of stuff. And I don't know, man, pour me another drink. Give me some more bulgogi, some more kimchi and things. And then eventually the host of the evening got some entertainment for us. So they got this I guess this local singer to sing us songs that would like bond us as like allies and things. And so the whole thing, the slogan for this joint event was "We go together." So, you know, you see like Rock Navy, US Navy, and then the big thing is like, "We go together." So whenever they would like announce anything, it would be, "We go together." So, and I got some videos of this lady singing, but it was on my cell phone, and I had a really shitty Japanese cell phone at the time. And so like loud, the mic would be like tuned way too high. So like the mic gain was way too high and I couldn't adjust it. And so like even if I were to talk at this volume, it would sound very distorted. So you can only imagine like if you're in a live music setting, even if it's just like a local event, not like a stadium or anything like that, just a local, basically think of like a local bar gig or something like that in terms of noise. So you can only imagine like how distorted that audio was from all these Korean songs and stuff like that. And she was like a pretty good singer from what I remember. And so I was just like taking videos of all that, and I thought they would be really good, but when I went to go listen to them again, it's just a bunch of distorted nonsense, and I'm like, man, I really wanted to post those, but yeah. And then we went to this sea park out by the coast, which is colloquially known as Penis Park. because there's a lot of phallic structures, we'll say, out there. And everybody, you know, was got pictures and stuff like that out there of them riding these like stone carved, you know, phallic structures and wooden carved stones, phallic structures and stuff. And the idea of why there's so many of those there is that there's a local story about a woman whose husband had died out at sea, and so she would feel like very sad about her husband's death, and so she'd like cry and cry, and I guess it caused this great flood or tsunami or whatever and wiped out a lot of the area. But in order to ease her suffering, I guess they found the dude's dong effectively, and so when she got that, she stopped crying, and all was well with the sea in that area. I'll let you guys fill in the blanks there. But that's the basic gist of the story. And so they have all these phallic structures up there for that reason. But us being a bunch of Navy guys and gals, we just went up there because, we're going to Penis Park. It's funny. So, and I recorded a whole like GoPro set of videos in the area. But unfortunately, those videos got erased. Yeah, exactly. Just put it on a plate. But yeah, I got a bunch of videos of that place, but unfortunately they got erased because I was reviewing them on the GoPro app just to kind of see how the videos were and if you could hear what I was saying and stuff like that. And it was sounding good. I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. You know? So I was like getting ready to like load them. You know, I was reviewing them, and then afterwards I just kind of turned everything off and didn't really think anything of it. Well, apparently, at the time, the GoPro app, once you, I don't know if this is like a setting thing or what, but once you reviewed the video footage, it would erase the video footage off of the SD card. And so you can imagine my surprise when I came back to Yokosuka, because I was gonna like edit this stuff, and I was like, all right, I'm fucking stoked, let's fucking do this. And there's no footage there. I'm like, huh? Like, I saw it. It was on the app. Where'd it go? What happened? And apparently the app just erased it after I watched it. It would just, you know, I'd watch a video, okay, cool, skip. And then after I would skip to the next video, it would erase that video and then keep doing it until I had nothing left. I'm like, what the fuck? So I had fucking nothing of old Penis Park. So that's another video I'd love to go back to, even though it would get hella demonetized, despite my educational slant on things. But that's a video I definitely love to go back to. You know, have a little more than a GoPro to look at things, for sure. But yeah, that was my only memories and sea stories for that one, unfortunately. But that's why I'm glad I made as many videos as I did, because if I didn't, they'd all be sea stories, right? You know, so, you know, I go back and look at old videos on my channel of me out on deployment in Central America, and I'd go to like Guatemala and Colombia and Panama and Mexico and stuff like that. And I can go back to those videos even now and see where I was at that time, and you know, and just see how different I looked and sounded, you know, because even now I notice that my voice is a lot deeper now than it was then, where it was like much higher and kind of sounded like this a little bit, you know. Oh, hey guys, it's the Andy-san here, you know, it's like that. Yeah, exactly. Document everything, even if it's fucking embarrassing and cringe as fuck, because like there's a lot of videos that are pretty fucking cringy, but I keep them up there because it's part of the process, man. It's part of life, you know. Like the one of my videos that I cannot even to this day watch is my OC spray video. The video where I got sprayed with basically like mace, like super high grade mace. And the idea was it's part of our training for weapons qualifications. Yeah, exactly. I agree. 100%. Authenticity. That's where it's at. But OC spray is the last part of our weapons qualification course for training and stuff like that. And it's actually it's not the last part. It's part of the course. Never mind. Regardless, it's the last thing you have to do for that particular course, and then you have to do the marksman type shit afterwards. Anyway, so you have to get sprayed in the eyes with basically mace on steroids. Like, not only is the spice strength higher than mace, it also has little particulates in the spray that latch on to your skin and your eyes and act as additional irritant. So it's not just spicier. There's like little like pieces that latch on a microscopic level to your eyes and nose and all this other shit. And so, you know, as you're brushing it, it's like further irritating your skin and stuff. So it's some pretty nasty shit, is what I'm trying to say. And so I did it. Most people do it like on shore. Like they set up like a little park area and a little obstacle course and stuff like that. But we're on deployment. We're turning and burning in the fucking the sea. So I did it on the fucking forecastle, the forward part of the ship. And we're just doing our thing. Fucking, I even end up getting a fresh can of OC too. Because like the other guy who did it before me barely got anything, the corpsman. Because like the can I guess right now is like nothing. And so he was like, he passed that course like super easy. He was like, get back, get back, get back. You know, he was like fucking nothing. And so they're like, all right, we're going to get you the fresh one, the fresh can. And he just like cracked it open, just stuck it in. OC. And buddy, that shit was fucking fresh, let me tell you. And the thing is, I was prepared for it to get in my eyes, because that's what they were aiming for. Not prepared for it to get in my lungs. So I had held my breath, so I thought. And after the OC, after I felt it like, and I felt the burn there, I was like, all right, cool, kind of expected it. It's like, okay, it's really hurting, but I expected it. And then when I went to go like open my mouth to like kind of breathe, there was still like some particulates in the air, and it fucking like reduced my lung capacity to like nothing. It just took my fucking breath away, and that was the part that was hurting me the most. You could see it in the video. I'm like, and the master arm's like, open your eyes, and I had to like do this to like open my eyes because like I physically could not open them. I had to like, because he was like, okay, what number is on my hand? It was 2. And I had to like, I had to like do this like 2. And then I move on to the obstacle course, which is you have to take a like a baton or something and like, you know, fend off against certain people. You have to use certain holds to restrain people, non-lethal holds. So you'd have to. Mine was the mock hold 2, which is basically using your elbow to like take somebody down, because it's the easiest one to do. You basically just like position their leg back, and once you get control of the arm, you forcefully put them down, and then you like put the arm behind them, and then once you have that arm behind them, you can grab the other arm too, because you have points of control. And then, you know, to like do like a mock cuffing, basically, even when you're all maced up, OC'd up, as it were. Then you move on to a couple other things. You know, you'd use the baton. You'll get back. You know, there's the whole thing. And then, excuse me, the last part is called the Red Man. And with the Red Man, it was this guy in like a big, red suit. It was all padded up and everything. And the idea was for you to basically push this guy. You weren't supposed to like take him down or anything. You were just supposed to like stand your ground and make sure he didn't like push you. It was kind of like sumo in a way, in that you had to make sure he didn't push you out of this circle area. You had to like stand your ground and either push him out of the circle or just make sure you didn't get pushed out of the circle after a certain amount of time. And so I'd be like, get back, get back, get back. And then like the guy who was the red man at the time, he was a guy in my division. He was one of my friends, so I thought. And he was like going easy at first, and then he decided to be a little bit of a dick and like really started like push me. I got a little mad. I'm like, get the fuck back. You know, and the guys popped for that one. It's like, hey, he's fucking stepping up. But you know, eventually got through the whole thing, and you know, got the little rag of whatever and just wiped all the OC and shit off my face and all the snot and everything coming down. And went and washed my face out as best I could, and went to do watch standing in sonar right after. So fun times. But I say all that to say that there was a guy from a brother division. He was in our department, but in a different division. He recorded the video on his camera, and I asked him for the footage because I knew it would be a fucking hit on YouTube. Not as big as I thought it would be, but did decent. I think I got like 1,000 or 2,000 views, if I remember right. And yeah, I just put up there, you know, worst OC course run ever or whatever. And I cannot for the life of me watch that video. It's too fucking much, man. It's too real. That's like the one video of mine I cannot rewatch. And I've had some whoppers out there, let me tell you. But that's one I cannot for the life of me. Even to this day, I cannot fucking watch that video. I put it up the one time, I skimmed through it. I'm like, all right, we're just gonna put this fucker up, see what kind of numbers it brings in. And it didn't even do as well as I thought, so whatever. But there was a video of another guy. You know. It's all part of the bonding experience. You know? We're not a cult, we're family. Join us. Drink the Kool-Aid. Man. That wasn't even the worst of it, man. But thankfully, because there's if you go to another ship, sometimes you have to requalify and you have to go through the whole course all over again. But thankfully, I did it the one time, never had to do it again, because my qual carried over to my next ship. So like, all right, you fucking did the thing, all right, it's cool. But it did lead to some cool moments though, because as I said before, after you get OC qualified, then right after you get OC qualified, you can definitely you have to get weapons qualified. So you go through your chemical weapons OC and your non-lethal / chemical weapons quals, and then you move on to your weapons quals, your lethal weapons. I ain't talking Samuel L. Jackson. You know, just like handgun, pistol, and then rifle. So for that in Japan, the nice thing is there's a little camp right at the base of Mount Fuji that you go and do your quals at. So I can say I'm one of the few people in this country that has shot guns in Japan into Mount Fuji. So I effectively did the most American thing possible in the most Japanese place possible. So it's like I did the most of both countries at the same time. It's a fucking wild thing. But yeah, there's a camp, I think it's Camp Fuji. It's a Marines base out at the base of Mount Fuji, where they do munitions training exercises, weapons qualifications, things like that. So they put a bunch of us going for weapons quals on a bus at fucking crack of dawn in Yokosuka. Bust us out to Camp Fuji. I don't think we were anywhere near that cursed forest. That's like on the other side. Actually, let me go check. Chutumate. We were pretty far away from there, if we were even close. I don't even think we were close. Let me see. Camp Fuji. Is it this one? Because he got where's Fuji? This one? There we go. Yeah. So say there to Kigahara. I think that's the one. Oh yeah. So here, let me do a quick little here, let me show you something. See if you guys can see it here. Okay. So what we got here. So this is the Aokigahara forest. This is the cursed forest, as it were. So you got Mount Fuji here. It's on the northwest part of the mountain, and then you have Camp Fuji, which is on the southeast part of the mountain. So we were like here. The actual like shooting range is probably around like here-ish somewhere. Even though it doesn't show it on the map, that's where it was. So it's in this area somewhere, and then the that forest is up here. So yeah. So it was nowhere near that cursed forest. It was quite the opposite, actually. At least that one. Yeah. Possibly. There was a lot of areas out that way. A lot of little bed and breakfasts and things like that you could stay at. But yeah, we'd get up at like the ass crack of dawn, take a bus, go out there. And we'd have to make a whole day of it because we would get trained not only in broad daylight shooting. Well, I don't know about that, but regardless. So you'd have to shoot in broad daylight, and you'd have to do low vis shooting as well. So you'd have to wait till it gets like dusk, almost dark, for low vis shooting, and then you'd have to do it in the dark. But I mean, they would have like maybe some very low lights up, but that's about it to get that going. And then once everybody was all done with the shooting and stuff, then we'd hop back on a bus and go back to the ship. So that was our weapons quals. And then for actual climbing Mount Fuji, I made a video about that one. Although I didn't get to the very tippy top because, oh yeah, for sure. And that's the thing about the military. There's a lot of shit that I thought was very fun, looking back at it, but in the moment was like very intense, and I didn't really enjoy it in the moment. But like looking back, I enjoyed it. You know, did I enjoy my time in the military? You know, there was a lot of times that I really fucking hated being in the military, to be honest with you. Just a lot of fucking times. I went through some of the most depressing periods of my life when I was in the military. Some real dark nights of the soul, if you will. Try to keep it within the green coin area, to say the least. But that being said, I did have some really super fun times in the military, like times that I talked about, different port visits, being able to, finally come out to Japan through the military and stay in the same city that the people who inspired me to come out to Japan originally, which are my cousins, who were stationed out in Yokosuka back in the early to mid 90s, to be able to stay in Yokosuka, same place, 20 some odd years later, was fucking incredible, And to be in this like palatial estate that the Navy paid for. I had this 3-bedroom apartment basically overlooking Tokyo Bay. So every time I would wake up, pull up the curtains, and I would see the ocean. And if it was a clear day, if I go out my door, I could see Mount Fuji too, on a clear day. I'd see like the little tippy top of it, basically. Attractions are painful, always sounds horrible. Yeah, for sure. That's one way to put it. And being in the Navy really gave me a lot in my life, and I have a lot to be thankful for and very appreciative of my time in the service. But it also really did a fucking number on the old head brain. And I realized that I developed a lot of addiction issues because of it. I learned I was a stress eater, and especially when I was in Yokosuka, it really developed when I was in Japan. Not so much in San Diego, because I lived mostly on dry bases, so I couldn't drink even if I wanted to. But when I became E5 and was stationed in Yokosuka and was ace out in town and didn't have to go out in town to drink, I could just drink at home, which is easier for me because I didn't have to have a whole Liberty plan. My Liberty plan was just go home. That's all I would put. I'm just going home. I'm not going to do anything. But during that time, I would drink a lot and eat a lot of food that's not really nutritious. And that's when you'd see, you'd see this get a little thicker sometimes, and this get a little whiter, maybe a little redder, And eventually it got to a point where I couldn't be in the military anymore because of it. Like my mental health had reached a critical point, and physically I just wasn't capable of being in the military anymore. So they gave me a choice of, either stay in the military and lose some weight and, the next physical cycle qualify and be good to go, or get out. And at that point I think I had less than I had like 9 months left on my contract, so way less than a year. And I already knew that I wanted to go back to school. I wanted to go to university after I got out. So, when given the choice between getting out of the Navy or staying in and losing weight and all this kinds of other stuff, I chose to get out because my mental health had gotten to such a state, and physically I'd gotten to such a state that I couldn't be there anymore. So I chose to get out, and I didn't lose any benefits in doing so. I got out with an honorable discharge. The only difference between me getting out that way versus if I gotten out at the end of my contract, which I only had 9 months left on, I should say, was that I wasn't able to take terminal leave, which if you are getting out of the service, you can go and stay with your folks or somewhere else to basically use up all of your leave time that you've accumulated. So I wasn't able to do that. But the plus side of that is that the Navy bought back my leave days. So I'd gotten an extra check from that. So in addition to my last check being paid for being in the service, I got an additional check, which is basically half of my month's pay, roughly, maybe 2/3, for my leave days that I wasn't able to take when I got out of the Navy. So I got a little bit of extra money from it. So I was like, sweet. And then I was able to do my thing from there. I was able to go to school, and that eventually led me back to Japan to study abroad out here, all on the GI Bill, thanks to my time in the military. Graduated, got my bachelor's and my associates through being in the military and going to school. And because of that, I was able to get a work visa when I got picked up for a job out here. So, you know, there was a lot of sucky parts of being in the military, but at the end of the day, guys, you know, I'm out here thanks to my time in the service. You know, had I not decided to join, I wouldn't have been able to get my higher education, wouldn't have been able to get a work visa. So best case scenario would have been I could visit for like a week or two, and then that's it. That's all I could do. So, but now, since I graduated, I can come out here and work anytime, get a work visa, you know. So all's well that ends well, and all leads the right way, as Kitty said there. So, ooh, boy, your boy's been yapping for quite some time. So, and it's getting pretty late too. So I think what we'll do is we'll wrap this guy up. I intended to do like more shorts than just the one, but you got me started. So, got me started on a little story time here. So we'll just wrap this guy up, and I gotta get to getting some supper and things sorted out, because I didn't eat lunch today. I just had breakfast earlier this morning. It's like 4 in the afternoon my time. So even with those chips or crisps, your boy's getting a little hungry. So.
Which is in Wate.
All right, no worries, man. Hey, thanks so much for the great conversation, Kitty. I really appreciate it. And once I get the new Discord up and running, I'll be sure to send you a message for sure. So cheers, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Which is in Wate Prefecture. He resumed the Swan series, but renamed it Iwate Swan to reflect the new area. And I think that even though his Tokyo Swan series I like the most just because it's of familiar
I like the most because it's of familiar territory.
I really do enjoy his Iwate Swan series as well, because I feel like that's when he really started coming into his own as a YouTuber. And you can see a lot of growth in terms of video production. He got a better camera.
He got a better camera.
He got a better camera, so scenery was a lot clearer. I mean, granted, it was still 480p.
I mean, granted, it was still 480p.
But still, it's better than
Still, it's IT better than 240p.
I mean, granted, it's still 480p, but still, it's better than 240. Yeah, with that series, he was continuing on from where took.
From where? Okay, cool.
That series, he was continuing on
on
480p, but still, it's better than 240. Yeah, with that series, he was continuing on from where Tokyo Swan left off. And sadly, on this day, January 27th, 2010,
keep it easy there.
so on this day, 10 years ago, Roger Swan passed away from acute pancreatitis.
There we go. Okay, cool. So that was that. Okay. So it looks like we're good there. Let's go ahead. Yeah, I have like all these different shorts done in the done category. Goodness. Let's go ahead. Y'all can see all the new shorts. So, drag all that shit over. Okay. And now we'll make some new. Okay. So we'll delete all this shit. And then drag this over here. Oh, wow.
And we're recording. Hey gang, Andy here.
Andy here. So, my goodness. Baby Andy, do. Might have to change the scale here. So let's. This was a long ass time ago. So this is with an old Motorola Razr phone that I got. That the front camera had a much smaller resolution than the back camera. So I filmed with the front camera so I could see what I'm doing, but it had a much smaller resolution. But even back then it wasn't really all that good. So yay, get a load of earthing.
It looks like we ain't in San Diego anymore, huh? That's because we're not. Alright, and we're recording. Hey gang, Andy here. And making my first
Oh, actually, hold on. We're not gonna make this mistake again, y'all. So what we're gonna do, I think in the interest of time and things, because like I said, your boy's getting a little hungry, we'll just import a bunch of this stuff here. So duplicate, it's 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So we have this guy. So I'm basically just going through the whole like Andy Japandi list of things, so we can get some. Oop, no, god damn it. So we can show off some stuff here. Okay. This one? No. This one. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why I did it like that. That's weird. Regardless. Oh yeah, I didn't even do the Japanese coins one. Huh. Well, that's weird. So, fly me to the moon. Okay, so yeah, see, I thought I did the Japanese coins for as a short, but I haven't. The only coins one I did was those 500 yen, like 3 generations of 500 yen coins. Those are the only ones I did. Oop, screw that up. Hold on. We'll fix that up here in a sec. Okay, y'all are good. Here's all itchy today. So we'll just open these guys up and insert all the tings. So I think... Oh, it's the back one now. So basically just reformat all this stuff. And we'll get to getting... Yeah. But this is the back camera, so it's a little better resolution. A little bit. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars.
So, first off, I'm at McDonald's
Yeah, no smoking at the McDonald's, y'all.
in Japan, here in Yokosuka. And I just wanted to show you the little controls here, because they're also in English in this particular one as well. But they're not always in English, so.
Yeah, can you guys get powderful deodorizer? Oh, you can still kind of read it.
A lot of
Oh, there we go. That's a little better. Yeah, that autofocus, boy. Oh, golly. That was some ish. That was some ish. Anywho. Fly me to the moon, let me pray. Yep. Okay, so the width is Gucci. You just need to get the height right. Yeah, so I know it's all... Nice. I know it's super elongated, but fuck it, bro. Might change it later. I don't know. Japanese coins as well. Oh boy.
So let's start off with the 1 yen coin, which is right.
I wonder which coin I had for the 500 yen coin.
Penny of Japan.
Let's skip ahead a little. Oh, it was Heisei. Oh, we can read this. We can read this now, guys. Check this out. So we had Heisei Niju San, so the 23rd year of Heisei, which is... Okay. Say year 23 to Gregor... Fuck. Sorry. I can spell Gregorian. 2011. There you go. Is that... So, you know. Because this was shot in 2013. So this coin at the time was only 2 years old. Interesting. And then you can even see in the other ones too. Maybe I should make a video about these too, but I don't see coins from other eras as often. This one is... Oh shit. Dang, dude. These are both fucking Showa. Actually, all the 50, the 100, and the 1 are Showa era coins. Y'all see that? So, for the 50 and the 100, they just have the numbers as numbers. So, this is Showa 49. This is Showa 43. Damn, them coins is old as shit, dude. Is that right? That is right. Golly. So, Showa 41. Or 43, rather. Sorry. 3 in Gregorian. So, the 43, that's the 100 yen coin here. This is from 1968. Golly. Which means the 50 yen coin, which is from Showa 49, is from 1974. And then this 1 yen coin here, Showa Goju, so this is 50. Ha, so 58. So this is the Showa 58. I think that's 82. maybe 83. 83. That would be... No, I was right. 82. 82. So this is from 1982. This is from 74. And this is from 68. On. Okay, the 10 yen coin is newer. It's Heisei Niju Ni. So Heisei 22. Which is 2010. So this coin is from 2010. So at the time, this coin was only 3 years old. And then the 5 yen coin. Let me see the fuck. I can't. Fuck, I can't. I need to see it in its entirety. God bless it. Okay, let me skip ahead to the 5 yen coin so I can see. Because I can't fully see it, so I don't know. Let me check here. Yeah, so that 500 yen coin is actually the youngest coin there. Because this is from 2011. The 10 yen coin is the second youngest at 2010. This is 1974. This is 1968. And the... fuck, I can't read that. Damn it, Andy. Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe, hold on. Let's scale this shit up, because I'm very curious now. Okay. Still very blurry, but maybe we can get it in focus. So it's Showa Goju Go. Showa 55. It's 1980, I believe. Yep. Damn, right on the money. So this is from Showa 55, so that's 1980. I had some old ass coins back in the day, and this coin's from 1986. So it's it's actually much younger than this coin and the other two coins. Damn, that's wild, yo. All right. Enough faffing about here. Let's go ahead and we can adjust it later.
Alright, now we're recording. Hey gang, Andy here, and I just wanted to do a special video about the coins of Japan. So, we'll just start off with the different values and I'll...
Yeah, maybe the width. I think we'll squish it a little bit. Like 78. Just so you can get everything in there as best you can. So there. Okay. Sounds Gucci. What the fuck am I doing? Burp. Allergies and medicine. Oh yeah, this is a big one because I don't know if they do this now, but at the time they put out a thing for us military folk to where we can't take over-the-counter medicine in Japan because there was an issue with opiates in the medication. So if you were to take certain types of over-the-counter type stuff, in Japan, you could pop on the drug tests.
Nice place to sit down, get some Wi-Fi and whatnot.
So we were told explicitly not to take medications out in town. We could only take over-the-counter stuff on base or like a doctor would prescribe us them on base. So, why does it say 1947? Am I tripping? Huh. It's definitely not 1947, I'll tell you that for certain. I know the videos are old, but they ain't that fucking old. Golly. That is strange. But regardless. Oh, the Wasabi Challenge. So, these are guys from my division. That's Parker. The guy doing the Wasabi Challenge, that's Warner. I think Smith. Smith is off in the corner. Fucking trolling and patrolling. He might... That's Parker. Yep, there's Smith right there. This is the fucking gang back in the Lassen days. USS Last In, as I would call it. Or USS Last Minute. Because that's how we would always fucking operate as a ship. Not a division, obviously, but, you know. Ah, Jesus, this brings me back so fucking... Oh, this is Natsukashi to the max, dude. Just a couple guys doing a little wasabi challenge. What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Now this is colors.
Thing.
So the reason I was able to get this was I was on duty that day, actually, but I wasn't on colors. I was scheduled to do a watch, to stand watch. And so before I went on watch, I don't know if it was right before or maybe a shift after, I forget exactly. But I was going to stand watch later that day or night. And I managed to go out to I think it was starboard. Yeah, it's the starboard side. And there's like a little space that you'd open up, and there would be like a podium and flags and all this kinds of shit. So I was just there kind of hanging out for some reason. Maybe I was grabbing something, or I just dropped stuff off, I think. Something. I forget exactly. But I was in there, and I was technically inside the ship. So I was exempt from, standing at attention for colors, because I was not outside. I was in the skin of the ship, technically. So, but I, took a little video footage of what was going on here, the passing of the colors here. Don't know if did I zoom in? Barely. I mean, you can see the guy moving, but it's mostly just...
The Navy.
Okay, so I explained the whole thing. Got it. Okay. So anyway, adjusting the height here. Okay. All right, Gucci. So I think that'll do her for now. I'm gonna render this this short. This is gonna come out. I guess it'll be tomorrow my time. So it'll be super early Monday morning my time. Maybe in the afternoon, Sunday, everybody else's time. Whenever you're watching this, if you're watching the future, greetings. And I think that's gonna do it for the stream. So let me get myself all gussied up here for the ending here. There we go. And there we go. All right, cool. Hey, we made it. Made it, y'all. So, yeah, I think we're gonna end things here for part 2 of this long ass editing stream. My gosh, I had no idea I was gonna go this fucking long. It was like 2.5 hours in the other stream and going on 2.5 hours in this stream. So like 5 hours of streaming in total. My gosh, I'm hungry as hell. I haven't ate lunch or nothing except for just breakfast early in the morning. I'm hungry as hell, so I'm gonna give me some food because man's got to eat. So Anyway, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in to this live stream and the other one, and watching the shorts and all that kinds of stuff. That really means a lot to me, that you guys are tuning in for that stuff, and my other videos and things of that nature. Y'all know the drill. So anyway, with that said, this is Andy, signing out for now. As always, forever, we'll see you next time. Catch you later, guys. Bye.